Good morning, everyone. Dr. Armstrong here with you today. Glad to be back with you for another episode of Tuesday Tips. Tuesday Tips. Today, we're going to focus a little bit more on Men's Mental Health Month. Men's Mental Health Month, which is what June is. And I'm going to focus a little bit on speaking to Black men on this episode today. We see what's going on in the world today. So I want to kind of dive into letting Black men know that therapy is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. So before I get into the full discourse, if you are liking the videos, I ask that you will please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am in the process of building that, and I would like for people to follow me on that because I think you get some pretty good stuff, and it's sound stuff. It's not stuff off the cuff. What I am in process of is giving you the type of knowledge that you need to help you in your life. That's what it's all about. So today I want to focus a little bit on the Black man and their emotions. Some people will deny the systematic culture that is very evident in today, but there is a systematic culture, and that systematic culture, unfortunately, is a culture of suppression and depression, and is a culture of racism. Now, I could go all the way back into history and things of that nature, but it would take too long to do today. So allow me to just focus on some of the quick tips that I want to get across to you today. Number one would be Black men have to learn how to accept what they're feeling. Accept your feelings. We grew up in a culture where it was taught to us that you have to be macho, you have to be strong, you have to be as a glass door. You have to be fortified. You can't express how you feel. You cannot express your emotions. Doing those types of things, expressing those types of things often leads to weakness, is what we've been taught as Black men. And I want you to know that it's wrong. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a strong demeanor. What is wrong is when we try to hold in our emotions and our feelings and not express what we're feeling. That's when it becomes a problem. That's where the heart attacks are coming from. That's where the strokes are coming from, because we bottle everything up on the inside, not to show emotion. So I posted on my Instagram page on yesterday or last night, whenever it was, a nice little graphic that I put together, and it's called the anatomy of an emotion. The anatomy of an emotion. Emotions are feelings that are physiologically compounded within us. Our heart, our mind, our gut reactions, all of that plays a part in what your emotions are. Okay? So allow me, if you will, the anatomy of an emotion. The mobile action and reaction. Okay? The approach, the fight, the flight, or either the freeze. Oftentimes when we are faced with a situation, our mobility will either be one of those things. Either you're going to approach what's before you head on, or you're going to fight because it brings out the emotion of anger, or you're going to flee, leave, because you feel that's the safest thing to do, or you're going to freeze. You are in a position where your body and your mind shuts you down. Okay. The conscious reaction, number 2 of the graph, is the conscious reaction, your mental thoughts. What's going through your mind? What's going through your head during these periods of emotion? That's what you have to deal with. Now, understand this. Number 3, short-lived. Emotions are short-lived. Most emotions last for a minute or minutes at a time, not hours. Okay? When you're in that fit of rage and anger because someone has somehow offended you, you're not going to stay angry forever at that. If you're feeling emotionally sad and depressed, it's not going to last for hours. Then, watch me now, if it does last for hours, then that's when you need, my brother, to seek out some type of professional help. Okay? Seek it out. Then we have the physiological reaction. When your heart is racing, you're blushing in the face, crying, eyes bulging, your physiological changes, the face becomes tense, your muscles become tense. All of these things are part of the emotional structure. Okay? And then you have your non-verbal clues, body language, facial expressions again. You know, often as an analyst, I read people for a living. I see the anger in men, and that leads me into this. We see the protests. We saw the killing of George Floyd. We saw that. We saw the killing of more innocent black lives. Okay, black men, you have an obligation to not only sit back and protest, but you have an obligation to let others know they're not in this thing alone. And if they're in some type of emotional distress, which, you know, when you see stuff like what you saw happen in Minneapolis, it gives you this sense of, do I even matter? I want to let you know, yes, you do matter. We've been fighting this fight a very long time. A very, very long time. We have been fighting this fight. The fight for equality. The fight for justice. And it has taken a toll on the mental fabric of the black man. You can be on your job and not be appreciated for what you've done on your job. I've been there. I know. You can be in your church setting and looked over. You can be looked over at home. You have the feeling sometimes of inadequacy. But little do they know, you are the black man, the most adequate, the most needed being on the earth. Yes, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that other races are inadequate. Don't go there with me. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying to you is the black man is this. Know who you are. Know what you bring to the table. And know that you're not in this fight alone. Thank you, people. I hope and pray that you enjoyed this episode of Tuesday Tips. And if you will, please like and subscribe to the video. I would greatly appreciate it. And it's on the podcast, on all of the major podcasts, Google, Apple, Spotify, Google Music. Thank you. You guys have a great day.